Create your day, live the secret, cherish the golden moments in time. If you believe you will achieve it, look inside to find the strength within you.
Welcome to my world, won't you come on in? Miracles, I guess,
Carl,
happen. What?
we're shooting. We're live.
Now you tell me.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to Two Different Worlds. I'm Carl Stedman.
And I'm Alan Fisher, and this is unrehearsed, unscripted, just two guys talking. And we're going to talk a bit today about the situation in the world now and what you're probably living with. And we're going to ask you a few questions. Are you comfortable with where you're at now? I know that, we had a shift in consciousness, but I know that beforehand we were, going through a lot. Do you want to tell them a bit about what you were going through?
Well, you might be able to tell by my accent. I'm from the north of England, a place called Birkenhead by Liverpool. And I had a pretty regular life. I was in a wheelchair for 3 years, which is between the age of 8 and 11. So I was very disempowered as a young man. But then I discovered Bruce Lee at the age of 14. And I got into Shotokan Karate, and I've been doing it ever since. It was a long, long time ago. And I became self-empowered, but my life never really changed until I lost everything in my life. When I say everything, my home, my business, got divorced, father died, broke my ankle, dislocated my shoulder, all within a 6-month period of my life. And then I have a shift in consciousness.
You lose everything but find everything. And I was born in Toronto and raised in Toronto. Quit school at age 16 because it held no interest for me. But I think for all of us, you, me, everybody, we're indoctrinated into this world, and we think that we have to get ahead. There's constant pressure on to get ahead, to get that car, to get that house, to get something external to you, because you're nothing. You're not good enough. The teacher says you're 67% or you're 42%. You compare yourselves with other people, and you feel somehow that there's pressure to get things from the outside, and those who have the most toys at the end are the winners. But we'd like to talk to you today about the inside. And I think that's where the shift in consciousness came, when we realized that we were not our externals. I was in law school. Eventually I went back to school, and university, law school, lawyer, judge. But there was always something missing, like that Peggy Lee song, "Is That All There Is?" And there's something in that message. Is that all there is? Well, we're here to offer an alternative. You don't have to accept us. You don't have to buy anything we're selling, because we're not selling anything but life. But we're going to speak to you honestly today about an alternative way of living, that there is something else, a shift in consciousness. So what happened to you that you had that shift in consciousness? What happened after?
Well, first of all, I'd like to explain to you why we actually do call this Two Different Worlds, because there's two things why we call it that. One is because Alan and I are from completely different worlds.
Totally.
A lawyer, a judge. I still am a martial arts instructor, but then I became a singer-songwriter as well. And but there is also two different worlds happening right now to you. and everyone else on the planet, because the old world is changing of greed and fear, corruption. We're going into a new world right now on our planet. It's been foretold for many, many years, and there's a shift in consciousness happening on the planet. Maybe that is why you're tuned into this show right now. But mine happened because of great pain in my life, Alan. And when I look back at my old way of being, it's almost unrecognizable, really. I had a mystical experience after all my loss. I'll talk briefly about that mystical experience. I was meditating, and out of nowhere, it was almost I was in a dream, although I wasn't. I've heard people talk about near-death experiences. For me, it wasn't a near-death experience. It was a lot of loss in my life, because I was just about to lose my home. I'd already lost my business, and my father just died. But within this mystical experience, I seen my past life of the pain I went through, of being in the wheelchair, of being disempowered, of being bullied, because my life was a bit like Forrest Gump, to be honest with you, until I started the martial arts. After years, I became self-empowered, but I'd gone through an awful lot of pain in my life. So all this pain I'd gone through was in this experience, which was like a dream. But around this was a light, an unbelievable light, and a knowing that I was being cradled by the divine. You might call it God, but the word God has been so misused. I knew I was in the presence of the divine. So all around the experiences of growing up and emigrating to Canada, and the divorce, I emigrated to Canada in 1988, was all within this experience of light. And then I seen a potential future, I believe, because then I see myself singing on stage to audiences. And I wasn't a singer at that time. I was around the age of 45, 46. Not long after that, I became a singer. But I had such a huge shift in my way of thinking and my way of being, Alan.
Yes. Mine happened many, many years ago when I heard other people speaking, and it was an all-day event, and I was sitting there questioning, what are they selling? I didn't understand a word they were saying. I didn't think at a conscious level, but I was wondering, what are they selling? Are they selling Amway? Bibles? Are they selling? What are they selling? And then suddenly, at about supper time, my head blew, trying to analyze all this, and my heart opened. And that was the biggest shift in my life, opening my heart to a new way of living. And this is what is going on in the planet right now. People are so afraid of death. Oh, we're going to be killed by this or killed by that. We're going to die. Oh, my God. But what about living?
Sorry, Alan, and one of the reasons for this is the news media. Because the news media seems to be the same all over the world, and it's fear, fear, fear. And we know everything is energy. Since I started to awaken many years ago, I started to search out for what is life really about? Who am I? Why am I here?
Two biggest questions.
Two big questions. So I started to realize that, number one, everything is energy. Our thoughts are energy. Everything is a vibration. And we're talking about the what's happening on the planet right now. And maybe a lot of people aren't aware, but even planet Earth has a vibration. And over the last 25 years or more, that vibration is going much, much higher as our vibration is. And we get to choose if we make our vibration higher by thoughts, by what we do, by either judging people or not judging people, sending out love, being peace, or being in an angry state, because it all makes a difference to you personally. Because we do create our own reality. Whatever's inside of us will manifest outside of us, and we also do it collectively with 7 to 8 billion people on our planet. So if we got 7 or 8 billion people in fear and contraction, which is fear, instead of love and expansion, we're going to create that, Alan.
That's the biggest thing, is that we have a choice. You can stay in the world where money is the God and externals are the God. But as Carl said, and I ask you, who are you? Apart from your roles, apart from your job, who are you inside? You can feel it right now. I call it life. Some people call it God, source, whatever. Don't tune out yet, just because we said God. We'd like to explain that. I call it life because everybody has life inside them. They don't know it maybe consciously, or they don't recognize it, but everybody has that life force within. And that's what we're talking about. It's a neutral, non-denominational life force. You're breathing. What makes you breathe? What makes you blink? What puts you to sleep at night? Who are you apart from your roles? We don't say to a little kid, a little baby, what do you want to be? Future, or who are you? The child knows who he is or she is. They love the world around them. They're so fascinated with every moment. They're not bored. They don't feel pressure. They love life. And that's what we've got to get back to. So, as Carl says, switch the channel. We have a choice. You can continue along this horizontal plane of job, marriage, mortgage, death. Or come into the moment where life is, where you blink, where you drink, where life is, where the birds are singing. And every moment is precious. Every moment is exciting. And that's where we come together in our two different worlds.
Enjoy every moment, here and now, Alan.
And that's the main message that we want to convey, is this is a life of enjoyment. I mean, you're on the earth for 50, 60, 70 years. Enjoy it. Not suffering, not pain, not pressure. As Carl was saying, it's so painful to go through all those things. Oh, I'm going to lose this, or I'm going to gain that. You already have it. You already have it. You're already perfect inside. And to find out what your passion is, and if you're still enough, then you can wake up to that.
And Alan, all the great masters who have ever lived have spoken about this.
I'm a great master.
Yeah. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the great ones. You're great as well. But all the great masters have come to teach us this for thousands of years. But now we have the science to back that up. The highest science is quantum physics. And they show you that everything is energy. There's a book actually by David Hawkins. It's called Power versus Force. If you haven't read it, read the book, and it shows you that fear, and as it goes up and up and up and up and up and up in love, and then enlightenment, everything is a vibration. And you, my friend, have that choice, And laughter is a great one. Light-heartedness is a great one. So everything that you're talking about, Alan, has been spoken about but can be proven with science. There's a scientist, actually passed away about 4 years ago, Dr. Emoto, who showed us what love can do to water. Check that one out. So they took a picture of water after being exposed to love, and they done this with a lot of skeptics around, and then it showed you this water when it crystallizes. It's beautiful. And then they show that's water when it's exposed to hate. And it's grotesque. Go out and check them photographs we've got to the internet now, which is a great thing. But we are mostly water. And so is planet Earth. So this just goes to prove we don't just need faith. Faith is a beautiful thing. I have a lot of faith. But we also have the absolute photograph to show you what love does and what hate does.
You have the ability to express love. Some people say, I'm in a bad mood, or I'm unhappy. Well, it's up to you. Do you want to be happy? Then be happy. You want to express hate and anger and misery? Your face will get frozen in that.
Yours went really weird then.
I know.
Can you pause that on the camera later on?
Because people, they look horrible or express love from the heart. We all have that ability, not necessarily just to one person, but to everyone. Hello, there's a fellow human being. And we all have circumstances. Those are just circumstances. Hi, Joe, how's your circumstance? That's all it is.
Mine's worse than yours.
A big comparison all the time. Or you can be in a state of joy, and realize that the circumstances will change. As Carl says, if you express love, those are just circumstances that will move. Life is constantly changing. That's the beauty of it, like the clouds moving across the sky, like your thoughts. Don't let your thoughts control you. They're just temporary. And if you come into the right frame of mind, literally, that state of love, that state of joy, that state of peace, then everything changes around you vibrationally. We are a high vibration, and that takes some stillness and maybe some meditation.
Imagine all the people living life in peace. Sing it, Alan. Ooh, ooh.
Oh, I can't get that high. Oh. It's fun. It's light. Don't take yourself so seriously. You're not going to die. Not yet, anyway.
And even if you do, there's no such thing as death. There's another nice one. The evidence is overwhelming. We do move to a different dimension. Death is nothing to be afraid about. Again, go and search that. It's overwhelming, the proof of life after death. Some people call it heaven. Some people call it nirvana. There's many, many names for it, but there's no such thing as death.
The important thing is heaven on earth. I've had 2 near-death experiences. I know what it's like. And it was beautiful. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's just a change. We're not afraid of birth. We go through those changes. But the important thing is to have heaven on earth now. That's the important thing. To experience this while you're still alive. It's a beautiful world. We can make love.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Speaking of that, I have a show on O-Tune Radio, called
I know you do.
Called The Roots of Rock and Roll. You'll find it at otuneradio.com, The Roots of Rock and Roll. But through that, I tried to express life. And you have your own program.
How'd you know?
I know, because I've listened.
You've been spying on me.
What's it called?
It's called The Joy of Being, and it's all about how we can all step in to the joy of being. And as we've spoken about, when you live in this way, circumstances in your life magically change. So switch off the news. Just try it. Give yourself 1 month and think about what you're thinking about, because you are bringing it about.
I'd like to mention Eckhart Tolle. You mentioned power.
The man.
He wrote the book, The Power of Now. But before he had a shift in consciousness, he was suffering, he was in pain, and he said, I'm going to kill myself. And then he said, wait a minute. Who's I and who's myself? Are there 2 different people in here? In this mind, in this thinking. We're always thinking, and that's who we identify with. That's who we think we are. But then he realized, hey, wait a minute. There is life coming through this form. And that's the thing to get in touch with. So I hope this has helped a bit.
And you mentioned Eckhart Tolle, Alan, and I was close to suicide too when I lost everything. And I had another huge shift when I watched the DVD of Eckhart Tolle, and it was called The Flowering of Consciousness. And within 20 minutes of watching this DVD, I went from suicidal thoughts with black clouds above me to life isn't that bad. It's only the way I think about life. So it's not the circumstances in your life. It's the way you think about them circumstances.
And you can change the way you're thinking about the circumstances. That is the power. That is the choice that everyone can make. And back to the word God. God is within. Life is within. Love is within. That source is coming through us as it is coming through the planets, coming through the trees, the flowers, and everything living, even the rocks that we think don't have life. Everything has life. It all comes from that one consciousness. And the sun is a good example of that, constantly pouring out sunshine and love. Sun and fire are the symbols for love. Yeah. So, love each other, be respectful of each other, be kind to each other, and it starts with kindness and respect for yourself. You are perfect. Realize that.
We live in a matrix of energy. Everything is vibrating all the time. So remember, my friend, live with love and peace in your heart. And maybe the next show, Alan, will talk about the voice in your head.
Yeah, I removed it I had a frontal lobotomy.
He can't talk. Anyway, we'll say goodbye now. Take care, and we'll see you soon.
Create your day, live the secret, cherish the golden moments in time. If you believe